So, this is my research paper by Michael Labella. My introduction is, like, my topic is, should colleges offer degrees in sports? And some of the main ideas are, like, that, like, children dream of being professional athletes one day, and this could impact them, and also the amount of teens that are going towards colleges, like pursuing to play sports in college. This would make it more reasonable, and the amount of time they put into it, it could become part of their education. Now, my first argument was the difficulties of college athletics physically. So, with the amount of people that play sports competitively, colleges should see the difficulties with doing that, and I think that could really impact how people look at the way sports are played professionally and at the college level. Also, this difficulty causes issues that athletes have trouble balancing their schoolwork and their sports at the same time, because usually they're not usually their time management's not very good and stuff like that. The problem that has occurred among many professional athletes is that they couldn't manage it, so lots of athletes missed out on like school opportunities and had to drop out of school to pursue their athletics. My next argument was why college sports and athletics should be together. So, some reasons that college athletics and sports should be together are that some athletes think they're not prepared to accomplish sports and college. However, if they were able to get a degree in both, that would be most beneficial to them, because some students are not as advanced as others and struggle to get the whole academic side of the picture while being a student athlete. Another reason is, especially most professional sports require at least 2 years of college to it would be beneficial for them, and it would be beneficial for them to study their trade. So as they're in college, it's the same as any other job. They would just be studying what they want to focus on after college. And if athletes were able to get a degree in sports, it'd be able to prepare them even better than no college at all, so that way they could work on it every day and stay focused instead of just staying home and working on it part-time. My third argument was the difficulty of college sports academically. So, lots of college athletes have lots of talent, like raw natural talent physically and through their sport, and lots of them cannot keep up on the academic side because just either they're undereducated or they just didn't take the time to really focus on their education. With all the hours that they put into sports and school, it's also not healthy for them physically and mentally. The athletes suffer from lots of different mixed emotions, especially with the pressure that comes on from their sport. So it's not healthy for them at all. And also, in other countries, schools have already started integrating sports and academics at the same time. That way, the students can have more opportunities throughout their sport and have opportunities through education. That way they can help themselves if they're in poverty, or even if they're not in poverty. That way they can focus mainly on their sport and what they want to do. Now, my first rebuttal was not being prepared for the workforce. So, some people may say that if they offer degrees in sports, that athletes will not get enough exposure to the real workforce. However, this is not true, because athletes will most likely focus on their sport even after college, so it would be more beneficial if they could just focus on it during college to make them more improved and help on basically their skills. Another reason is that they would also be mentally sharp, because they're still studying and preparing for their sport just like real life. So you can imagine their job just like a trade job. So you're on you're on a work site and you're practicing and you're working on better. So when you're out of college, you can do that trade every day and go to people's homes. While this is the same as sports, when after they graduate, you go to whatever profession you're going to and you work on that. My second rebuttal was athletes not being able to keep up academically. So most athletes, most of them that are struggling academically, don't really care about their academics, and most of them are coming from the less fortunate side. So, and it's the only way to get their families out of poverty, and they see their talent as a real gift. So it would, I mean, the college like degree as a sport would be beneficial for them mostly, just because they can't afford to miss out on this opportunity that they have. Another reason is that most athletes are already somewhat academically smart because there's no such thing as a dumb athlete. So I mean, most athletes are already partially educated enough to get even the basic jobs if their sport doesn't work out. And I mean, athletes, you have to stay smart and like your sport, which means basically you're not dumb. And this gives them opportunity to get an education and study a sport at once, which is what their overall goal was. Even if they do both, they would want to do one or the other. So I think that this really gives them a new opportunity. Now, my conclusion is that college athletics should be considered as a real job. So the difficulties and complexity of becoming a professional athlete takes so much work and preparation that is unfair for people to not be allowed to include their sport and their college education into one. This will also affect the regular learning in college because the students will take regular classes and give high school students athletes the bonus they need to strive to strive towards a college experience. The most important part of becoming a sports becoming a degree to me personally, what is the reason college athletes struggle to manage sports in school, and how would this impact everyday students? These are my questions, and the answers would be: sports becoming a degree would be most beneficial to me because it would impact me if I decide to go to college for sports. Many athletes struggle to balance both education and sports because the struggle to they have manage the time they have with sports and education is such little time that they have no choice. And this would not affect me at all because they would be in the same classes as athletes, this would not affect students at all because they'd be in the same regular classes as athletes. The only difference is that they would have special classes throughout their day just to focus on their sport. Now to my works cited. My works cited: page 1, page 2, and page 3. Thank you very much.